Trying to sit in the right place. Aha! Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. And look who I have here. This lady, of course, needs no introduction. We all love and know Linda G. And Linda, you've been tremendously brave because you are in a way, because you're having your chart, your natal chart, Vedic natal chart, read live.
Yeah, Kevin said you did his and he loved it.
Thank you. No,
so, yeah, I'm pretty brave. As long as you don't discuss my weight, we're good.
You're all good. You're all good. So I just want to say a thank you to everyone who is joining us live on the show. Linda's just left a note as well on her channel to let her subscribers know. And I just want to give a little overview, Linda, of what's going to happen today and what this show essentially is about. So, as you know, as everyone knows, I'm a Neo-Vedic astrologer. So I do Vedic Indian astrology, which is like over 5,000 years old. And I combine it with the outer planets, which are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And I also include Chiron, the wounded healer, and Ceres, which is sort of like the mothering planet. And what we're going to do today, what I want to identify, particularly for my Wednesdays, I want to look at talented people who have spiritual gifts, and how those things can be indicated in a person's birth chart. So what we'll do is we'll spend the first sort of like half hour to 45 minutes talking about your chart, talking about life events and stuff like that are relevant to you. And then we'll try and answer maybe some questions that people might have and stuff like that. And maybe we might even talk a little bit about Duck L'Orange, as you know, which is Trump. We might talk a little bit about him. So first of all, what I wanted to ask you.
Can I butt in real quick?
Of course.
He asked the DOJ if they could please return his nude photos that he took of himself. And he even used the word that they weren't like ugly. It was like my something nude photos. And I said, oh my God, you know what? They must be breaking down crying over there. They're laughing so hard.
Wow.
How do you get a mushroom in so many pictures? You know?
The hairy acorn. Oh my goodness.
I just want to tell you that was what on Twitter that he had asked the DOJ. I cannot confirm that, entertainment purposes only, but everybody just went crazy on it.
Oh my goodness. Because you may have known already, but I had that dream. I had this dream around the solstice on the 22nd of June this year.
Yeah.
And I had this dream that Mar-a-Lago, it wasn't Trump Tower. I had to go on with the dream. I was like, why Mar-a-Lago just absolutely collapsing? Yeah, like an earthquake. And then it was like covered in water. And there were two young women in the dream. One of them was brunette I was talking to and stuff like that. And she was on one roof and jumping to another. And the other one was blonde. Yeah. Wow. And I was saying, like, who are these characters? Who are they? And people saying, well, maybe it was Ivanka wearing a brown wig and stuff. I said, no, I don't recognize them. They're not famous. And then the second that they invited Cassidy Hutchinson on, I was like, that was the brunette in my dream. And then when they put on Sarah Matthews towards the end, I was like, that was the blonde. So it just means total devastation. I mean, is this true?
Somebody else of our brothers and sisters in this realm of reading also had a dream about Mar-a-Lago being demolished.
Wow. I think it was metaphorical in the sense of, like, I just knew it meant the total collapse of who.
Yes. That's like me dreaming about him in a glass coffin. Everybody can see his ending.
Wow. But this really, he sent messages about the nudes. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Yeah, he sent the DOJ but the DOJ doesn't leak stuff like that. So I don't know if it's real, but it was funny. He actually called them, well put together or whatever you want to say.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So what we'll do is, Linda, we will get into your chart, and then we'll have a good old gossip and Q&A backwards and forwards, because this stuff that's happening right now in America, which of course we need to address. For me, my analogy is for this. It's like watching a cross between The Twilight Zone, Mulholland Drive, and Rosemary's Baby. For me, that all of this is this
what it's like energy.
Rosemary's Baby.
That's something. Can I read you something real quick? Just real quick. Breaking. Donald Trump reportedly asked the FBI to return the tasteful nudes he had taken of himself, printed out, and mixed in with the various top secret documents he was holding at Mar-a-Lago. I don't think that's true. I don't think he would.
You know,
it was still funny. I had a good laugh.
We'll have to see, but like I said to people, I said we're going to be entering times where we've never seen the like before, and we are right in the thick of it, aren't we? Yes. We are in cray town. Cray town. Absolutely
cray town.
Okay, so Linda, are you ready?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So and feel free, Linda, as well, whenever you get any insights, anything that comes to mind, feel free to interject if things resonate with you and stuff like that. Now, it's really interesting looking at your chart. So up here now, peeps I think you can see this. Yeah, they can see the symbols. So this is your chart printed large, and I have another version of chart. This is what my clients get. They get a chart like this, and I draw in all this stuff, which is called Drishti, planetary sites. So there's that. And if anyone, no, actually,
sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'm letting everybody know to show up. So
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. So basically, this is the large print of your chart, just so that you can see and that the various things that I'm talking about. Now, with Indian Vedic astrology, of course, we are reading from a different part of the sky, but we're reading from like the NASA part of the sky. Why? Because the stars are slowly moving backwards. So you'll see, you might be able to see, look, my projection here. Let's say if you see my projection here up in the background.
That's cool.
Thank you. So imagine like that's the cosmos literally moving like that. Yeah. So the stars are slowly moving backwards by 1 degree every 71, 72 years. That's not very fast, but over big eons of time, it adds up. In the West, we still read from the old place in the sky, but sidereal astrology, which is Vedic astrology and Babylonian, it takes that movement into account. The stars have moved so far that everything is moved backwards by almost one whole sign. Yeah, almost by one whole sign. So you're going to learn some interesting stuff. So according to Vedic astrology, yeah, your rising sign is not Libra. Oh, no, you are a Virgo.
Oh, my God.
You're Virgo rising, Linda. And this will all make sense. This will all make sense because this.
And in regular astrology, I'm Leo rising. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. So here, actually, you're Virgo, but Leo is a very important sign for you, and we'll explain that. So also as well, your moon sign. Now, what's the moon? The moon represents the mind and the emotions overall, our instincts, our gifts, our talents. It also talks about childhood and our natural abilities, how we instinctively respond to things. Yeah. So your moon, according to Vedic astrology, is also in Virgo. Yeah. So you got your moon there as well. And then you also have Neptune there as well in the first house. So I'm going to explain what that is. I've put detailed notes down the side so I don't forget. And then we're going to move our way around the houses. We're going to start with house number 1 over here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In Vedic astrology, the 12 houses not only symbolize the signs, but they represent the physical birth. Yeah. So Aries, or the first house, deals with the top of the head. From the eyebrows down to here is Taurus, and then the arms come out, etc., etc. Till we end up with the feet, the 12th house, Pisces. That energy, yeah, you'll know this very much. So there's that, but we're just going to dive straight in to your first house. Now, what's the first house? Everyone knows this diagram here, which is kind of getting a little bit beat up now, but anyway, whatever. The first house represents you. yeah, represents the physical body, represents the personality and how we come across. Yeah.
Okay.
So for you, you've got Virgo rising. And what does that mean? Virgo is known as what? The sign of health and healing and overcoming obstacles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, health and healing. Yeah, definitely.
Health and healing. All Virgos. So my sun sign is in Virgo. Yeah. My sun sign is in Virgo. So anyone with Virgo moon, Virgo ascendant, which is what you have. So you're double Virgo. Virgo sun, they're all going to be interested in health and healing. And what I've written down is this. So forgive me, the writing's a bit small. So I put here first house. Yeah. So I put here nursing indicated. Yeah. Nursing indicated. Moon, planet of nurturing, is in the first house. Yeah. Moon is a planet of nurturing, motherhood, stuff like that. Thanks for that donation, Nana, lovely. Thank you. And also as well, it also affects the body and the face. So I'll tell you something. When the moon is in the first house,
yeah,
what it does is, and I mean this as a compliment, Linda, it softens the features.
What?
It softens.
No, my whole body's soft. Yeah.
Well, for that you can blame the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
The moon deals with softness. Yeah, the moon
Isn't
is
that
soft.
something?
Yeah, the moon is soft. The moon is spherical. The moon is also very pretty. Yeah.
Oh.
What it does is it illuminates the complexion.
Oh.
Believe it or not, the moon will actually make people's skin fairer.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, if I'm looking at you now, even though you have Comanche blood, your skin is very fair.
Mexican blood. My mom was, if she was in the sun at all, she'd be dark brown. But I take more after the Irish side of my dad's with the light color. But I could tan real good back in the old days.
Yeah.
My mom, I used to go out with baby oil and sit in the sun. My mom said, "You girls better knock that off. It's going to ruin your skin." We thought, what does she know?
Well, you can thank your good skin and your complexion to the moon, because what's the moon? Yeah, the moon is silvery. The moon gives a silvery complexion. So Dolly Parton.
Can you see generally that if you see somebody has beautiful skin, you would say, "Oh, I bet their moon is in their first house"?
Well, it depends on the planet. So the moon will give a luminosity to the skin, but it will make it fairer. So say like someone, if I remember correctly, Dolly Parton's got the moon in the first house as well. The sun in the first house will give a coppery, give a bit more of a tan to the skin. Okay. If Saturn's in the first house, the skin will be darker. If you've got Mars in the first house, which is me, I've got Mars in the first house, it gives a reddish complexion to the skin.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's that as well. But also as well, when the moon is in the first house, it creates a lot of sensitivity. Yeah.
Okay.
So already we can see, in order to be psychic and all this kind of stuff, you need to be what? Sensitive.
Yes.
So it also means, particularly as well from a child as well, you would have been very sensitive to your environment, very intuitive, all of these things. It's almost like being a sponge. The moon is like being a sponge. Sometimes when the person's got the moon in the first house, they can absorb the thoughts and feelings of others, even if they don't want to.
That's the truth.
Yeah, absolute classic. So here, your moon is with Neptune, and I'm going to explain why that's significant. So what have I put here? So the moon is with Neptune, which is the planet of drugs and pharmaceuticals, believe it or not. Yeah. And it can deal with alcohol and different things like that. But drugs and pharmaceuticals, spirituality, and otherworldly experiences. So here, because now in traditional Vedic astrology, they don't count Neptune. But Neptune, I call the planet of talent. Yeah. Deals a lot, particularly with music and painting, illustration, movies and films, film industry, photography. Yeah. So if you've got the moon, which is already a very sensitive psychic planet, with an otherworldly planet like Neptune, straight off the bat, I know that that person will be psychic in some way.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah. Because what Neptune does, Neptune dissolves the boundary between the three-dimensional world and the realms beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
The outer planets are very otherworldly as well. They have this very intense quality to them. So if you've got your rising sign Virgo, and you know, everyone knows Virgo is the Virgin, but it's more than that. In the constellation of Virgo, the maiden is said to be, and it just means a woman that's unmarried, basically. The maiden is holding a sheaf of wheat. So Virgo also deals with food, diet, and digestion. Yeah. And on the other hand, she's holding medicine.
Oh my God, that's me.
Yeah. So here we can see just, and wait till we get to your 12th house, but just from your first house, we can already see those things indicated there, that you were going to be a person that was going to be involved with medicine and healing of others in some shape or form.
And I always wanted to be Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I had a past life as a child actor because I had a lot of dreams being on set when I was little.
Yeah, that would be bang on, because here we are. This is Neptune, planet, which is basically, I call it Hollywood. La, 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 la. That's that. Neptune has the ability to make the unreal appear real. That's why when it was discovered, it was film and photography all at that time. So let's see just who else is in before we go to your second house, which I think you will recognize a lot. So who do we have here? Oh God, there's so many people. Everyone's flying in, Linda. We've got 545 at the moment, and I'm sure that number's going to go up. We got Lisa Foster. We got Cheryl Simpson.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey. Let's see, what's this? Can a chart be done? Let's just click here. Someone's asking, can a chart be done if a person doesn't know what time they were born? My mother said she was sedated and has no idea. My father signed my birth certificate, but not mother. Yes, you can do a chart if the exact time is not known. You go by the moon. But the closer you can get to that time, even if it's like a couple of hours, that helps a lot. All right.
You know, I didn't know when my time of birth was. My mom couldn't remember. It wasn't on my birth certificate. I was born at a military facility. And do you know when Dad died, I went through his stuff and he had my little birth card that was in my crib. And there was my time of birth, 8:09 a.m.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, Jesus, he had it the whole time. And I was trying to figure out, and you couldn't figure out, and they'd already closed that hospital I was born at. So anyway.
It's very interesting because the military is going to come up for you, and it's very clear from your 12th house. You're going to be like, what? So if we look here, so we've dealt with the first house, yeah? We've dealt with the first house, which represents you, the body, personality, stuff like that, the general interests. Now we're going to talk about the second house.
Thank you, Edie.
Thank you. Oh, was that Edie? Oh, thank you, Edie. Thanks so much. Now, what's the second house all about? So the second house deals with the face, the neck, and the teeth. It deals with early childhood, food and diet. It deals with music, education, money, marriage, speech, and singing. It deals with vision, the right eye in particular, and it deals with self-value and family values. So whatever planets are in the second house have a huge impact on the childhood.
Yeah, those were all messed up for me. Although I did musical theater.
Now, this is very interesting because in your second house, you have the planet that I call balloon popper.
What's that?
Saturn. Planet Saturn. So why do I call Saturn balloon popper? Let me just make sure everyone can see.
Because hey, Dianne.
Thank you. Thank you. Saturn, I call him balloon popper because he's the planet of harsh realities. This is what I've written here. This is what I've written. I'm sure you'll recognize this. Second house, Saturn exalted. So first of all, your Saturn is exalted. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Exalted planet means it's very strong. Yeah, Bill Gates has actually got this combination. Actually, I mean, an exalted planet has a lot of strength, but it can also be a little bit over the top in some way.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what it means is Saturn is the planet of karmas, restrictions, discipline, all of these different things. And I always say Saturn is the one that gives us the beatings. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got those beatings too.
Right. Right. You did. So like Saturn, in a way, it's like this. Saturn's like this. When he's like, okay, this is Linda's chart. I'm looking at the karmas. Right. I'm sitting here in the second house. Oh, I need to give her some restriction there. So he would go through his sticks and he'd be like, what about this? No, too light. Throw that. This one, nah. And then he'll be like, oh, right, this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah. And I'll explain. This is what I wrote. I put here, Saturn exalted is powerful, can manifest as wanting to help lots of people. Yeah. When Saturn's strong, Saturn is also a humanitarian planet, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Because he rules the sign of Aquarius, which deals with humanity and community. Right. So when Saturn is exalted, one feels a lot of responsibility.
That's me.
Yeah, so I can tell in your life, particularly even from your childhood, you felt a lot of responsibility for all sorts of things, for your family, not only yourself, but your community, profession, etc. All of that stuff. Yeah, because here Saturn is very powerful. What else have I put here? And I've put here equality and fairness become paramount, because Libra is known as what? The sign of fairness, balance. If Saturn is exalted here in his friend's sign, Venus and Mercury and Saturn are all friends, then he's going to want to perform very well. But I put here, however, a powerful Saturn means that he has the strength to lift very heavy sticks. Yeah.
Right.
And I put here in the second house, it can mean one parent or sometimes both, but particularly the father, yeah, will dish out beatings quite literally.
That's how I was raised.
Because here, Saturn is known as a cold, dry planet, cold and dry, but he's very strict. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he's in signs where he's not so strong, he's a little bit less strict. But for you, your Saturn is exalted. So it means a very strict parent.
I was always afraid, I had a roof over my head and 3 squares. This stuff. And he took us on family holidays twice a year, every year, which a lot of kids in my neighborhood didn't have. But I'm telling you, if you dare looked at him wrong, and it's weird because I knew he loved me, but why are you physically beating a child?
Yeah.
Like a grown man.
Yeah.
But the fact that none of us were killed was amazing.
Yeah. So what is here, I always say, planets are people in astrology. Literally, planets are people.
Yeah.
They represent they represent the manifest situations and people that show up in our life. So the sun also represents the father, along with Jupiter to an extent. Jupiter represents the husband. So we'll talk about relationships and husbands in a minute. Yeah. And Mars can represent siblings, but brothers in particular, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So when I looked at this Saturn here in the house of family, I was like, oh man, Linda really had to deal with some stuff. Yeah, because here Saturn is like, bang, yeah. But what he does is Saturn, Mars, and the nodes of the moon, Rahu and Ketu, are known as malefics. So it means they're cruel. But just because a planet is cruel doesn't mean it's evil. What Saturn will do is he will come across very cruel and harsh, but to kind of almost beat some kind of humanity and humility into a character. Oprah Winfrey also has an exalted Saturn, by the way.
No kidding.
Yes,
and she had a tough life. Yes.
If you think of her childhood, extremely difficult. Like she said we couldn't even afford the war. She said we couldn't afford the O in poor. We were po. That's what she said. So what it does is Saturn when he's strong, gives great struggles in the earlier part of life. But what happens is that person grows in grace and humility and humanity. Yeah. So I just thought I'd share that with you. But that's literally your father and your situation growing up. All right. So far, so good, Linda?
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay. So here, now we're going to talk about Rahu. Now, Rahu is the north node, which is the point of manifestation in our life in the direction that we're supposed to go. Yeah. But wherever Rahu is, we also feel fearful about that direction and a bit scared because it shows where our soul is yet to unfold and gain experience. So what's the fifth house all about? Believe it or not, the fifth, so what have I written here? I've written here fifth house, Rahu in the fifth, manifest point of destiny in the fifth house. It talks about children, creativity, speculation, taking risks and chances, spiritual pursuits. Yeah. It also deals with lovers, romance, sport. Yeah. Can show an interest in sport. Yeah. Fifth house also deals with sports and pleasures. It also deals with politics, giving consultation and advice to others, and authors. Who's writing a book?
Me. Me.
So you can see here, part of your manifest destiny was actually to become an author and to have spiritual pursuits and give consultation and advice to others. Makes perfect sense.
It just makes total sense. This is amazing.
Now, thank you. Thank you. And if I remember as well, because I know that you because I've seen you mention that you trained, of course, to become a nurse. But did you also deal with anything to do with birthing or pediatrics or anything like that?
Well, yeah. I as a nurse, I work labor and delivery.
Right, labor and delivery.
Yeah. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5. Manifest point of destiny in the fifth house of children.
Yeah.
You see, it's remarkable.
I delivered a lot of babies in my day.
Yeah, a lot of babies. And it was so funny when I was actually drawing up the large form of your chart, I was tuning in. I could literally see you delivering kids. I'm like, oh my God, she literally.
Yeah. Mostly because we were a teaching hospital and the interns had a hard time with sterile technique, figuring out the gloves. Mm-hmm. And by the time they're figuring out, here comes the baby. You know, I'm like, here you go, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when we go around here, to your 10th house, you're going to find this very interesting. So what's the 10th house all about? So the 10th house deals with public duties, career, presidents, reputation, yeah, bosses. Actually, I'll just pull down here so people can see where I'm pointing at.
Right.
Reputation, bosses, fame, father's wealth, honors, vocation, purpose, status, government and authority figures, highest achievements, yeah. So it has a lot to do with the career. Yeah, the 10th house has a lot to do with the career. Now, okay. This I think you'll find very interesting.
Oh, good. Thank you, Harry. Harry gave $10.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, and I should see who else is here as well. Let's click up someone. What's it? Kind of chop me down. Got some in Spanish, which I can't understand. Let's see here. What else? So we've got Sharon here. I'll just scroll down the comments and I'll click one up. Anyway, so if we look here, your 10th house. Now, as a Virgo, it means that Mercury is your chart ruler. Planet Mercury is your chart ruler. Mercury, when I also further studied your chart, is an exceptionally important planet in your chart. It's as far as to say it's part of your soul's destiny, Mercury.
Okay.
I'll explain. Okay. So here, up here, this is your 10th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th house, career, social standing, reputation. Here you have Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is known as a benefic planet. Yeah, benefic. And it means it's sweet-natured, it's good. Tries to give something good. Yeah, expansive and stuff like that. Technically, this Jupiter is in an enemy sign because Mercury and Jupiter are not friends. However, it's more good than bad. But it does indicate things with the husbands. But guess what?
What?
Jupiter, the sign of Gemini, which is your chart ruler, which belongs to Mercury, is also known as a sign of communications of all kinds. travel, communications, education, sharing information. It's also a planet of wit and humor. YouTube, stuff like that. Jupiter is a jolly planet. He likes to laugh, and particularly when he's in the sign of Gemini. So this can also deal with comedians.
Oh my God. I always loved to have a laugh. I did my bit with comedians, but that was bucket list.
Right.
Wonderful. Right.
It's incredible. There it is. So that's your Jupiter. Jupiter is Guru, the planet of teaching, expansion, knowledge, etc., intelligence. So when Jupiter is in Gemini, it gives a very eclectic mindset, a person who loves comedy, humor, witty remarks and stuff, which is something that you're really known for. But the dead giveaway here is that this Jupiter is with Uranus. Now, Uranus means to be individual in some way, quirky, to stand out, to be unconventional. It's also the sign of independence, the planet of independence and liberation. But also as well, Uranus deals with technology of all kinds, and it can also deal with social media, things like YouTube, Zoom, all of that stuff. So here, Jupiter is in the sign of communication, where he loves jokes and jollies, with the planet of technology and social media and innovation and standing out in some way, in your 10th house of career, name and fame, being well known for something. Here, as YouTubers, we're entertainers. Everyone loves your. I mean, the one that still makes me laugh is, what is it when you talk about those restraining pants that you wear?
Oh, my double wide JC panties.
Yes. Do you know how many times I've nearly choked on my tea when I put you?
And you know, I just made that up as I went along. Oh yeah, well, to think, or anytime I go somewhere, they never have my size of petite, so I have to get the XXL. I'll get the XXL, but normally I take a petite, and I like my double wide JC pennies.
Because here, what it does is Gemini, for any planet in Gemini, will always pick up a sense of humor, a sense of wit, because Mercury is the planet of wit. Right. Humor, being clever, yeah, in some way. I would even say, believe it or not, Duck Larange, slight deviation, folks, he has his Mercury in Gemini. Wow. This is why he's been able to talk his way around things, yeah? He's a great skill for communication. We need to remember the shadow of Mercury is the trickster, yeah? Yeah. So Duck Larange can use that for trickstering, huckstering, all of that stuff. But it's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you. It's brilliant for zingers. Yes.
Yeah. And I could talk myself out of anything back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there we can see that skill, particularly as well as it's there with the planet of knowledge. What's really interesting is this Jupiter is in the nakshatra, which is called Mrigashira. So basically the sky is divided into 27 nakshatras. So each sign has 2 1/4 components to it, essentially, yeah, which are individual bits. So Gemini is made up of 3 parts, and you've got 2 hits on the Gemini. Your Jupiter is in the nakshatra called Mrigashira, and it means the search for beauty. Wow. It means to collect things. It means also as well an interest in the arts, culture, beauty, stuff like that.
How about good-looking menses?
Well, that too, if you can get them.
Beautiful menses. Go ahead.
But it literally means to collect. The symbol of this nakshatra is the deer, the antelope, which moves from one thing to the other. So also as well, this can also show the movement, the evolution of your career, going from one thing to the next in this beautiful journey. So
I'm having a ball.
Having a fantastic time. And also as well, this Uranus is in the nakshatra, which is called Purnavasu, which means return of the light. So what it means is, it means to give. It's also the deity with this nakshatra is Aditi, the mother goddess. So believe it or not, even though it's Gemini going into the sign of Cancer. It's the sign of mothering and children.
Oh yeah, I love my children. Yeah.
Yeah, mothering and children. It can even give one it can even give one good children, believe it or
I have
not.
good children. Yeah. I was lucky.
Yeah. So this here is part of your blessing. And it also as well, return of the light means to try and bring forth the light to people. Optimism. Yeah. It's ruled by Jupiter. This nakshatra is actually ruled by Jupiter. So we see that as well with your channel. You know, when you're saying with your guides, you are here to give people encouragement.
Yes,
yeah?
I can't take care of you, but I can show you the method that you can take care of yourself.
Absolutely. So that's indicated there. Now we're getting close to your 12th house, but let's look at the 11th. Now this is a funny one. This will make you laugh a little bit.
What?
So here, 11th house. So Venus, planet of hospitality, is in the sign of Cancer, which deals with cooking and nurturing others.
Oh, I love to cook. Yep.
There it is. Venus. There are 3 foodie planets: the Moon, Jupiter, and Venus. Whenever you see Venus or Jupiter or the Moon in signs that like to cook, that person is very good with food. But there is a little bit of a drawback. It gives a sweet tooth.
Oh yes. Unfortunately, I used to, when I was young, wish I could have dessert rather than the food.
Right? Because here's Venus in the sign of Cancer, which is the sign of food and nourishment. Venus is the Sanskrit name for Venus is Shukra. Literally it means sweet. Yeah, it has sweet. It also means a bodily discharge from a man, but I won't go into that as well. That's literally it can also mean that. But it's called Shukra. Literally, Venus is called Shukra. So here, when you've got a planet with a sweet tooth in the sign of food, yeah, you're gonna love your dessert more than the main. And because what it does is Venus heightens the senses. Her signs are Taurus, and Libra. Taurus deals from the eyebrows down to here. All of the senses are here. Taste, the teeth, all of that stuff. And also as well, remember, you've got Moon in the 1st house. So Moon and Venus are just having a great time. They're like, come on, let's try this, let's try that. But giving you a great flair for food as well. Yeah. Here you've got Ketu here. Now Ketu is the south node of the Moon. Now Ketu, Ketu is a body without a head. Ketu has his whole top of his head open to the cosmos. Yeah. When Ketu is in water signs in particular, it heightens the sensitivity, the spirituality, and the psychic abilities. Believe it or not, Venus is also known as a planet of prophecy, but she especially does that when she's very strong. In Cancer, it's a little bit different, but the fact that Venus is with Ketu in a water sign, this is also indicates your gifts and your talents, otherworldly abilities. So sometimes, like particularly maybe when you were growing up or just randomly, you might have thoughts come into your head, impressions suddenly just drop in. Yeah, does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All of that stuff. Impressions drop in, psychic gifts. Cancer as a sign is very psychic. All of the water signs are. So Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces, they're all psychic signs. I'm Cancer rising, yeah? And I've got lots of stuff to do with psychic stuff. So here we can literally see it's together. And it's also in the 11th house. And the 11th house, again, deals with society, social media, because it's equivalent to Aquarius, the 11th sign, building communities and stuff. So here we can see you almost giving nourishment and spiritual advice, again, to a community, 11th house.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah, so it repeats. Now we get to your 12th house, and this is an absolute humdinger. Absolute humdinger. Your 1st house and your 12th house basically sum up your whole life, Linda. Literally, your 1st and your 12th, they sum up your whole life. Now, this is really interesting. planets have different degrees in the chart. The planet with the highest degree has put its thumbprint on your soul. Yeah. And it's called the Atmakaka. And it means it's the king of the chart. So look, you're also a Virgo. Yeah. So Mercury holds the highest degree in your chart. So it's your chart ruler and your soul planet. Yeah. Okay. So it's all about communications, entertainment, information, politics, knowledge, travel, all of this stuff. Fast mind, fast speech. Yeah. The planet with the second highest degree is called the Amatyakaka. And that's known as the prime minister of the chart. And it's the prime minister's duty to get the king to his destination. Yeah. And both work on the career. And the planet with the second highest degree in your chart is the sun, like me. Yeah, we've both got the sun at the second highest degree. And your sun is in Leo, which is also about performing, leadership. It means to manage a kingdom. So you've got Mercury, the soul planet, and the sun, the prime minister planet, both which symbolize the career. Remember that. Okay. This is one of the easiest ways I can guess what a person's career is. And for you, you've got Pluto, Mars, the sun, and Mercury all together in the 12th house. What does that mean? Here, so the 12th house, it deals with, now, not all of this will necessarily be relevant, but a lot will. So it deals with aviation and unspoilt nature. It deals with loss. It deals with endings and beginnings and endings. It's like the world card. It deals with retirement, rest, and deep research, foreign lands, secrets, holidays overseas, spiritual retreats, foreign income. It also, the 12th house can mean earning an income from a very wide range of things, believe it or not. It can also deal with passive income as well, like royalties, ad money, stuff like that, believe it or not. It's indirect. So it can deal with bed pleasures, expenses, and stuff like that, surrender. It also deals with charity, the feet, expenses, but it also deals with prisons and hospitals. Wow. Believe it or not. Yeah. So you've got your two career planets in the hospital house. So therefore, yeah, your career, you had to be a nurse at some point. It was just something that was baked into your chart.
Yeah. But when I talked about going to nursing school when I was younger, my dad said, nah, they just exchange bedpans. You don't want to be a nurse. He wanted me to be a teacher and I refused. So guess what? I became a housewife.
Right.
And a secretary. And then I got lost, and then I was living with my daughter, a single mom, and he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a nurse. And he said, come back to the house. We'll take care of Nicole, and you go to nursing school.
Wow.
He ended up really supporting me then.
Right. And that, what you said, is very poignant. It makes absolute sense because the sun, remember I said the planets represent people. Yeah. Moon is mother. Sun is father.
Okay. They both supported me. Yeah.
Right. Here's the moon, your mother in your first house, literally giving you that support. But then look, here's your father, the sun in the 12th house. He came round. He gave you his support in the end. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
And
isn't it?
You know, to go in the particular place I went into, the program I went into, there was like 737 people who took the exam. It was like a civil service exam almost. And then out of that, they took 30. And I was one of them with no previous nursing experience.
Wow.
I was supposed to do it.
Yeah, you're supposed to do it. Someone's asking how to get a birth chart. Description in the video description below, guys. So if you want to know, my website and stuff is there. But yeah, going back to you, Linda. Yes, so you can see it now. The sun represents the kingdom we're building this lifetime, whether we're aware of it or not. So it was meant to be. Yeah, it was meant to be. There it is. And they're both your career planets in the 12th house. But the 12th house also speaks a lot about spirituality and all of that. But there's more. There's more. Now here, when we look here, you've got Pluto and you've got Mars. Yeah. Now Pluto is the Roman name for Hades, god of the underworld. Yeah.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
Now wherever Pluto is, we have now Pluto can represent, you know, difficulties, traumas, you know, particularly family traumas, stuff like that. But it's about going into the underworld, confessing our sins in a way, and then coming up the other side. What Pluto can do, particularly when he's in the 12th house, this is what I found with my clients, 12th house in particular, or the 8th, is that Pluto can give supernatural experiences and near-death experiences as well that change the life.
I stood on the other side and they talked to me.
Right. Absolutely. Because
when I was begging for my life, they said, "What are you doing? You know there's no such thing as death." I was like, whoa, I felt embarrassed for begging for my life. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah, it's extraordinary because here, the 12th house also deals with outer space. It's the most psychic house. Like all the houses 4, 8, and 12 are moksha houses, which means liberation from this world, spiritual liberation. So you've got 4 planets, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the 12th house of spiritual liberation, yeah, and communing. Yeah. But there's more. That Pluto has brought that transformative aspect. So what Pluto
transformed me, yeah,
absolutely. So what Pluto said was basically, well, look, I'm in the 12th house. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to give her a near-death experience that's going to change.
Which I did. Yeah, it changed my life totally.
Yeah. And what is, this is why Pluto is associated with the phoenix rising from the ashes. Something has to break down and then it's reborn. This process is happening right now in America's chart.
Exactly.
Pluto is coming back.
Yeah.
To its original place. So if we look here, just in a slight digression, here is the USA Declaration of Independence chart. There's Pluto. Natally, Pluto is hovering around here, back on himself. So he's come all the way around. Took him almost 250 years to come back. And now America's having to deal with, you know, Pluto things. But there's more, Linda.
Oh, my God.
Here, you've got Mars, yeah? Planet Mars. Mars is what? Passion, conflict. Mars can deals with energy. Mars can deal with firearms, guns, explosions, all this stuff. He has a bad reputation, Mars, but he has a good side as well. Your Mars is actually very strong. When Mars is strong, it's good for logic, tactics, working stuff out. Now, you've got this combination here. Now, you notice there's a star here. Can you see that star?
Yeah.
Sure you can see it. All right, let me just pull this a little bit closer and go like this.
I see the star.
So if we look here, this star is called Regulus. And it's also known as the Star of Kings. Yeah, the Star of Kings. It means leadership. Yeah. It's in the nakshatra, which is called Magha. Yeah, M-A-G-H-A. When you take the H away, what does that say? Yeah.
Magha.
Right. Donald Trump also has this combination, believe it or not. Yeah. My Jupiter is also conjunct Regulus. Yeah. Anyone who's got a planet conjunct Regulus, something very interesting happens in their life.
Yeah.
Marga, the symbol for Marga is the throne, the palanquin. You remember when people were carried on like that once upon a time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it means. But there's something even more intriguing. What it means is the deities associated with Marga Nakshatra and the star Regulus in particular, it deals with the ancestors. You know what this means? It means you have been nominated by people that are blood relatives, DNA, sometimes even by marriage, to either continue or to complete some kind of mission that they were not able to finish in their lifetime.
Wow. And they could be deceased.
Yeah, it means they're deceased. Yeah. Blood relatives, it can also be marriage. So when we look here, you've got Mars here, planet of passion, action. here exactly conjunct this star. The star goes from 4 to 6 degrees of sidereal Leo. Yeah. We consider an orb of 3 degrees a very close conjunction. My Jupiter is at 8 degrees and loose change. Yeah. So it's within 3 degrees. Yours is exactly on there, 4 to 6 degrees. Your Mars is at 4 degrees and 7 minutes.
Wow.
So what it means is literally there is something, and what have I written here? I've put here, 12th house contains the soul planets, the sun, yeah, which I explained. Mars conjunct Regulus, showing that Linda has been selected to become the spiritual warrior by her ancestors.
Oh my God, I love it. I'd like to thank the members of the Academy.
Yeah, yeah. So your guides and all that stuff. I think those people that give you those hits and those information, I think a lot of them are your.
Oh my God, they just talk to me. It's amazing. They don't mess. They don't mess either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're not loving and warm towards me like you would think.
No,
they tell me the truth, which is very painful sometimes.
Right. And the reason why is because Mars is what? A soldier, a general, a warrior. Mars does not mince his words.
Yeah.
So when they've got something to tell you, what they just let you have it, don't they?
They let me have it. I mean, they're not, you know, when I argued about doing a YouTube video, when they first told me you're going to do a YouTube video, I said, how do I get up and brush my hair? You would have thought lightning would have hit me. But they were very firm. They said, you will help calm others.
Yeah.
But the other thing they said after that, which will be in my book, they also said, if your ego gets involved, we will remove your gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because back in my younger day, my ego would have been, I would have never been able to complete this because I would have been the love and devotion you get. You have to be very careful with people because,
yes,
you know, I'm here to give you the tools. I can't take care of it for you, but let me help you as best I can to give you the information that flows through me. But, you know, it's not me, it's them. And I have to make that very clear.
Yeah.
I'm just a conduit.
Absolutely. And this is what I say to my clients as well, because as you know, I link in with a person's chart, but I also tune in with the planets, you know, upstairs and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. I'm like, I just allow myself to be the vessel for the message. So I just thought I would share that with you because I wanted you to know when I looked at that, I was like, those are her ancestors, your guides. This is from a long lineage, Linda. Yeah. Here, Pluto is here, and Pluto, like I said, can deal with traumas, yeah, legacy family trauma. Yeah. So that again is your that bloodline of yours having to deal with family members that have gone through difficulties, traumas, you know, stuff like that. Part of this work that you're doing, being on YouTube, sharing, giving this knowledge, letting people know about, you know, the Comanche bloodline and everything. This is all part of it, and they are helping you do that. But they're kind of badass with it as well because they're Martians. So that also means
it's not peace, love, dove, hold, list, warm and kissy. It's factual. It's just factual.
Yeah. And that's the energy of Mars. Logic, facts. He's the logician. It also shows as well that there's in your bloodline, there would be chiefs and warriors and stuff like that. People that literally defended the land. Yeah. That's part of your ancestry. So I just thought you would find that really interesting.
You know, even on my dad's side, on the Irish side of my grandmother, I can follow the lineage all the way back to King David of Scotland, William the Lion.
Wow.
Yeah, on my grandmother's side from Scotland.
You said William the Lion.
William the Lion is a direct lineage to me.
Well, look, this is all happening in the sign of Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your sun sign actually is not Virgo, which is what they would have you in Western astrology. Your sun sign is Leo.
Yeah.
And look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 3 planets in Leo as well, even though I'm Cancer ascendant. What it means is Leo is also lights, camera, action. Yeah. There's that element. Marga deals with the throne. Yeah, like I was saying, there's another part of Leo, which is called Uttara Falguni, and it means to manage a kingdom. This is where your Mercury is. But if we look here, the sun in your chart, which is the kingdom, is in a nakshatra called Purva Falguni. Purva means former. Uttara means latter. Purva Falguni is, guess what? All about performance, creativity, the arts, singing, dancing.
Right. Well, I always thought I'd be Hollywood, but.
Right. So.
Yeah. Genealogy Junkie said, wow, Linda, you're another genie. Oh, girl, I could spend hours on genealogy. The problem is with the Comanche tribe, everything was lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's part of why they're here, because literally Marga does deal with genealogy, stuff like that. It deals with family history, lineage, all of that stuff. And you've got Mars here. So it's showing, the ancestors are Martian in some kind of way. So what it is they've nominated you so that their message can come through to the world. Yeah. The messages that they give to you and share. This is, believe it or not, because obviously, as you know, when we're on the other side, time doesn't exist. It's not linear. Yeah. Past, present, and future all exist at the same time. So by you sharing your story, sharing your lineage, it's actually helping your ancestors, believe it or not.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I just thought I would share that with you.
Thank you for that.
No problem. We've gone round all the houses. I hope that was insightful for you.
That was so insightful. Kevin said I would love this. He was right.
Brilliant. So we've got literally look at that. We've got a few minutes left. Is there anything you want to share on Duck Larange? Anything else you want to share?
Duck Larange. Well, he's going down, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited. I feel like someone waiting for the big bang.
Yeah.
Now listen, did you ever see him going to jail?
What I saw for him, like when I tuned in years ago when I was starting this, the image that I was given, I've said this before on other channels, you know those kind of like pink bunny rabbit slippers? Yeah. I saw those, but they were chewed up by the cat and peed on by the dog. That's what I saw, or vice versa. So the end of like his demise, it just becomes really sordid and just, you know, kind of like this stuff. I mean, if these stuff with pictures is true, I'm just like, oh my God.
I know.
I never saw him quite going to physical jail, but I did see something maybe like home arrest or something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely going before a judge, because I saw him sitting at a table with all kinds of attorneys around him. Yeah. You know, he's like that from the famous words of Muriel's wedding, when the paralyzed girl went to take off with Muriel to go live in Australia, and the girl comes out, she says, "You can't say that to me. I'm beautiful." That's that Trump energy. You know, you can't put me in jail. I'm proud. He still refers himself to as the president. He's delusional. And he doesn't really, he honest to God will go to his death not realizing what an absolute farce he was.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've seen is that when I've tuned in, I've just been, what I've been shown is that Trump would rather die than go to physical jail.
Yeah.
And there was this, I think it's too late now, but I would say there was a window of opportunity where he could have escaped. Escape was indicated in his chart.
Okay.
But in a way, it's a bit too late, because you know what's happened? I'll quickly show you here. Obviously, I've got Duck Larange's chart. Oh my God, let me just turn the camera up this way, because 1 second, I'll just stand here. Hopefully this will hold. So what I've got here is, let's just see. So this is his chart here. These planets are where the planets are basically right now. Yeah. They're movable at the moment. When I stood up, what did people see? Because I'm just wearing shorts, so hopefully no one saw.
Oh, we couldn't see the shorts.
Oh, good. Anyway, because it's still very hot here in the UK. So if we look here, this is his 10th house. You remember I said 10th house is name, fame, reputation. Yeah. He's got Mars, planet of war, in his 10th house right now. And I made a prediction earlier. I said, Trump is going to be fighting for his career. Absolutely fighting. Trump is a Leo rising, which means Mars is a very strong planet for him. However, Mars is very difficult. And look, it's going over his natal Uranus, Rahu and the sun, which deals with the kingdom. Yeah, the kingdom.
Uranus. Oh my God.
Which is, yeah, Uranus is sudden shocks and surprises, unusual stuff, weird things. So Mars is triggering and activating all of the weirdness, the cray-cray, the strange stuff in Donald Trump's kingdom. The kingdom, of course, is what? Mar-a-Lago for him, the big house.
Yeah, right.
Mars is going to be in the sign of Taurus for almost 8 months. This guy is toast. Yeah, this guy is
toast.
My
God.
Mars, at some point, I think it's in October, something like that, or November. Mars will temporarily go into Gemini, where it's going to be with his Mercury.
Okay.
Mars and Mercury are not friends. This is where we could really see the wheels coming off mentally for Trump.
What month did you say? October, November?
I think it's in October, November, something like that. Because what's going to happen is Mars is going to move forward, then go retrograde, forward, and then retrograde.
Well, look what he did. Look at the gifts he gave us. He put up these god-awful people to run on his behalf that are going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And that SCOTUS that he did, and Mitch McConnell, who's bitching about it, but he's the one that put him in there. Once they turned on Roe versus Wade, I told everybody they just handed the Democrats the House and the Senate for the next. It's not because everybody's saying, oh, the natural course that the Republicans were going to win, and they were saying, oh yeah, as soon as we get in there, we're impeaching Biden, we're impeaching Fossey, we're doing this, and I thought, my guys were like, yeah, they ain't getting nothing. And I saw ants, so I saw people coming out in droves, and by God, no, you're not gonna. It's about Roe versus Wade. A lot of it is about Roe versus Wade, and the Generation Z is making a comeback right now. Not a comeback. They're really Generation Z. They're giving. They're saying is the reason so many good Democrats won.
Wow. I'm really hoping it's going to be the case, because what is here, these two, which I'm calling the naughty boys. Rahu is unusual things as well, extremes, can even deal with lies, espionage. This is why it's associated with politics. And Uranus are together, yeah? This means shocking events. But
yeah, like what he gave to Putin. Yeah.
Absolutely. And guess what? The eclipses are happening this way, yeah? The eclipses are happening in Aries and Libra, yeah? Guess what? Putin's rising sign is Libra, which means he's having these eclipses in his first house. Have you noticed how difficult things have been getting for him of late? So here, these eclipses are falling in Trump's 9th house, which deals with what? The law and lawmakers.
Yeah.
On the 25th of October, the solar eclipse is going to be here in Libra, right in Putin's first house. And it's going to be in Duck Larange's 3rd house, which deals with media communications and all that kind of stuff. So there's some big shakeups coming.
I'm writing this in my calendar.
Yeah, big shakeups coming, but also as well for all leaders around the world, Linda, because the sun is considered debilitated in the sign of Libra. So it means all Libras are gonna struggle. So Xi Jinping is going to have a bit of work on his hands. Putin, Duck Larange, Biden has to be mindful of his health, because this eclipse is happening in his 12th house and 6th house axis, which can deal with health. Yeah. But it can also mean as well he could potentially defeat his enemies as well. So there is a positive slant.
Good.
Kamala Harris is going to have the eclipse happening in a very important house for her as well. Very interesting. So between sort of like now, end of August, going into September, October, we're just going to see a lot of stuff heating up. And what it can mean is Uranus can give unexpected results.
Yeah.
So if it's expected that the Republicans are supposed to win, I'm hoping that Uranus will flick it the other way.
Oh, it's definitely going to get flicked.
Yeah, but you never know. So what I'm going to say is,
I know my guides have been very firm for a while now and told me not to worry. It's not going to happen the way they think it's going to happen. But also, you give a chart that pretty much down the road here, we can say, aha, well, that makes sense. Because, see, they expected they would win and they don't.
Yeah.
But also, I don't see him being president ever again. It's not going to happen. People were writing me about some YouTube channel that had life after death. Some woman died and she saw Jesus and she's walking along and she said, oh, and they told me that Trump would be president again in 2028. And I said, wow. Oh, no, it's not real. He's not even going to be alive by then.
Yeah, so, I'd be surprised. I mean, my thing is, what I say is that never say never, but when we look at this, the stuff he is going through now, because look over here, yeah? If we look this, yeah, he's got an opposition going on right now. Pluto and Saturn, yeah, two hardcore planets. Saturn is currently retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, which deals with government, yeah, government, all of this kind of stuff. When a planet is retrograde, it means to revise, review, reassess, go over something. This is happening in Trump's 6th house, which is the house of enemies, yeah?
Yeah.
Litigation. Saturn is the planet of karma. So he's having to face what? Karmas. But not only that, it's opposite. It's opposite his natal Saturn and his natal Pluto and his Venus, which deals with the wife, women, relationships, contracts, business dealings with others.
Yeah.
The moon is also here today as well, which is a terrible planet for Duck L'Orange, terrible planet. And so this is all being kicked off right now. So this transit in Trump's life could actually be the one that brings him accountability. And it just gets worse from 2023 onwards. I mean, it literally
that's what my friend Andre, who does he said way back when, oh my God, it starts happening in 2022. By the end of 2022 and 2023 is horrible.
Terrible. It's going to be devastating because he's already in a situation where with that letter that they released recently, and they were like, no, we wrote to him several times, but he doesn't, basically in the UK, we say he doesn't have a pot to piss in. Yeah. Basically, that's Trumpism, I think, will still live on beyond him, sadly, for a good while. But this combination is very, very difficult. And it also means females. It can also mean daughters. So it means wife, daughters, women in general. That I also think is that element there where the informant, you never know, it may or may not be Melania, but it's
I felt that his daughter would turn on him. She wrote something about her husband's book being 3rd bestseller. Jared, it's not even out yet, and it's on Amazon. And somebody said to her, go water your mother. Oh my God. Everybody just loved it. Oh my God. Go water your mother. Oh my God.
I mean, that grave, before we tot her off. I mean, look, Ivana went through a lot with Trump. I'm not saying people are necessarily going to feel necessarily sorry for her or whatever, but she was a business person in her own right. And she went through a lot with Trump. A lot. I mean, she even said that he even sexually assaulted her, through the divorce and all of that stuff. But she was like the brains behind it. And that's why he was so angry. When she divorced him, he was so angry because she was keeping it all going. And it all, of course, started to go kind of south and stuff like that. I'm not saying she was perfect, but there was a lot of interesting stuff there. She was a sports person, a businesswoman, intelligent.
Right.
She went through a lot. Let's just put it that way. And then, of course, when this transit began, when Saturn went into his 6th house, that's when Ivana fell down the stairs. Literally. So this combination here is very difficult. Saturn's going to be in his 6th house for 5 months. So, accountability, it seems. So there we are, Linda. The hour has flown by.
It flew by, and I'm going to have some stuff. I have to do my prayers and stuff. So
go for it. Oh my gosh. So you're going to be late for them. So sorry, guys. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I think I don't think it's at 1. I think, but I'll check. But it's okay if I'm late.
No,
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you.
It was amazing. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Almost 1,000.
I just so enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Boy, Kevin was right. This was fantastic.
Thanks so much. And if anyone's curious, everything's in the description. So yeah, we must do this again at some point.
We will.
Or I come onto yours, you come onto mine, whatever.
Yes.
and we can talk about these things. Thank you so much, Linda,
all right,
for taking that time out. And I wish you all the best. So let's end the show.
God bless the UK. I know they're hanging in there now.
Brilliant, brilliant. So bye-bye, everyone. Thanks so much. Cheers. Bye-bye. Wasn't that fantastic to have Linda on there join us? She's obviously going to do the thoughts and prayers. Thanks everyone as well for joining tonight and the donations and everything like that. And if anyone is curious about, you know, my consultations that I offer, my website is thearchetypalblueprint.com. All of everything is in the description below and all that. Thanks again for joining us. That was fabulous. Almost 1,000 for a Wednesday. So goodbye, everyone. And I will see you next time. I'll see you on Saturday, where we've got Andrea from Lilac Lantern is going to be on. So we're going to be Hogarth this Saturday. All right. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.